Hello guys, welcome to my channel. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe. So I'm going to show you guys how I made this beautiful bodycon gown. So please subscribe and watch till the end. Thank you and God bless you. Please don't mind my editing skills. I'm still learning how to edit YouTube videos and all of that. So minus 5 inches from the top part of your pattern paper as if you want to cut off shoulder, okay, depending on how exposed you want the shoulder to be. I'm trying to get this line is my bust divided by 2. Then after dividing by 2, I divided by 2 again to get the middle, all right, to get my center front and the center back. Then after that, come down by 8 inches as you are minusing 5 inches from the up. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Then from that 8 inches, come down by 1.5 inches to give you your bust point. Then after that, you get your under bust. All these things you are minusing 5 inches from the top. Like I said, like a pattern, like an off shoulder cutting. So after that, you identify the chest line, the bust point, and the under bust. So from the under bust, you get your across the chest. Across the chest can be 5 or 6, depending on how you want it to be. You can also use your shoulder measurement. Then from there, you put your measurements, you put your waist measurement, and then your bust measurement. Then you connect your armhole. Connect your armhole. Then from the center front, you go in by 3.5 inches depending on your bust points or bust span measurement. Okay, you take 0.5 inches on both sides for your that measurement. After that, you put in your the difference between your front and your back. Mine is 2 inches, so that's what I'm putting there, so that your pattern paper will be balanced. Okay, now we go to the back. You know that 2 inches we put as the difference between our front and back, you remove it from your back so that there will not be zip bulge after cutting your clothes. Don't forget to do this. Then from the center back, you go in by 0.5 inch for zip bulge and then connect. After that, you go in by 5 inches or less or more, or you can use your shoulder measurements, all right, and then put in your basic measurements. After that, you put your dart intake. Mine is about 4.5. You start from the beginning, so that you not make mistake. Okay, to get a straight line to the chest line. After that, you come down by 1 inch. Come down by 1 inch and then connect your dart. You can use half inch on both sides for the back or 0.75. From your armhole, go in by 1 inch and connect the line from the top to your bust point. Okay, and then mark half inch or 0.75 inch on both sides of the line. All right, even though it will enter your armhole, forget about it. After that, you will shift your armhole by 0.75 inches. So from your armhole, go out by 0.75 inches to augment for that 0.75 you took. All right, and then connect back your armhole as shown. So from the center front, come down by 0.5 inch or 1 inch depending on how exposed you want the sweetheart to be, and then you connect it. So I use pencil so that I'll be able to do connect it very well without making mistake. So after we use marker to connect it back. So for the underbust tightening, you go out by 1 inch depending on how you tighten your underbust from the second dart line, and then from the first dart line go out by 1/2 inch. Then use your curve to connect it. You can place your curve the way I'm doing mine to avoid too much curving. Connect it back to your dart leg. So after that, you close your bust dart. I'm cutting it so that I'll be able to close my bust dart. So after cutting it out, you cut out the back too, and then you place it on your pattern paper for cutting. So this is what it looks like after cutting out the pattern. So divide your hip by 2 to get a straight line. Then after dividing it by 2, you divide the pattern paper by 2 to get the center front and the center back of your lower bodice. That's the skirt parts. So minus your half length to get the length of this skirt, to get the full length of your cloth. Minus your half length. So this pattern is minus your half length too. If your half length is 18, minus it to get this skirt pattern. So you mark your hip waist measurement, and then from the top you mark your hip, waist to hip. Your waist to hip can be 7 or 8. So from the top, get your waist to knee measurement. Your waist to knee can be 19 or 20 depending on how tall you are. So use your pattern ruler to make a curve from your waist to your hip line. Okay, I want mine curve. You make yours straight. So on your knee line, you minus 2 inches from your hip. My hip divided by 4 is 9.5. If you minus 2 inches, it's 7.5, so that you have shape. The leg will have shape. So connect the line back to the full length. The 2 inches, connect it back to the full length. So from the center back, you go in by 1 inch for the zip. Go in by 1 inch and then divide your waist by 4 and put in the measurement +1 for that intake. Connect the line, the zip line, back to the hip line and do the same for the waist. So on the knee line, you divide that 2 inches you got from the center, from the front. Divide it by 2, it will become 1. So you deposit the 1 inch on both sides of the knee, the way I'm doing it right now. From the top part of your skirt, from the center front, you go down by 1.5 inches and then connect it back to your waist. So put in your dart measurement for your back. You can divide the sides by 2, or you can use your bust band measurement. So from the hip line, go up by 1 inch, and then you can take 0.75 inches for your dart intake or 1/2 inch, depending on your preference. So from the center back, you cut through the hip line, maybe stop 0.75 or 0.5 inches towards the side back, and then you slash open. When you slash open, you place it on the pattern paper, on another pattern paper, and then open it 1.5 inches or 1 inch. Okay, and then you use your tape to hold it down. So after that, you shape it back to the way it was before. This method of butt lifting will not add anything to the length. Okay, so don't worry about it adding something to the length. So this is how it looks like after shaping it. Okay, now you add 1 inch on the center back and then 1.5 inch on the side back, depending on how you want it. Then you cut it out and proceed to the front. So I'm just adding 1.5 inches on the side front, and then I'll cut it. So I'm just slashing through the middle of the front. You know that the front has slits, so after slashing through it, I'll notch it to know the side front and the center front. So after that, I'll just cut other ones, the upper bodice. I will add half inch and then 1.5 inches on the sides. So this is the cuff where I will attach the hand, and then this is the sleeve. This is the sleeve, like 24 inches long or so. And then you have your front, this is your back. This is the upper body's back, this is the front, and then this is the center front for the upper bodies. Okay, and then this is the skirt. This is the skirt part. So this is the skirt pattern of the back. I want to give allowance for zip and then stitch the remaining part. Okay, I'm giving like 8 inches allowance from the top, 8 inches to 9 inches allowance, and then I will stitch the remaining parts with 1 cm, about 1 inch, sorry. So this is the center back. I cut the material into 4. One is the main material and one is the lining. So I'm stitching it with half inch for the zipper allowance and then for the top part, and then I will turn it over and close it with dart and put my dart measurement. So I'm trying to put my dart measurement. You can notch it before cutting it out, so that it will be easier for you to hold your dart. But I didn't notch my own, so I'm trying to put the dart measurement now. So you stitch the remaining part of the fabric together. So this is what it looks like after stitching it back and then stitching your dart together. So the next thing I'm going to do is to place it together with my skirt parts and stitch it together. So this is what it looks like after stitching it together with the skirt. So this is the front part. I'm trying to mark where the front slit will stop. If you want it to expose, you can do like 15 inches, but I don't want it to expose, so I'm doing 16 or 17 inches. So I will stitch it to that place and then open it up. So this is what it looks like after opening it up. So the next thing I'm going to do is to fold it into 2 and then stitch it closer to the edge. The way I'm doing it now, you fold the open part half inch by half inch and then stitch it closer to the edge. After doing that, you turn it make a U-turn towards the other side like this, and then you stitch it the same way you stitch the other part. So this is what it looks like after opening up the front. Now we are going to join the center front together. I'm not padding it though. I don't want to pad it, but you can pad yours. I'm just stitching it with half inch. Okay, after stitching it with half inch on both sides, I will go and open press it so that you will see. So I finished one side, and then this is the lining part. This is the lining part. That's why you can see that chalk. So I'm closing the other side too with half inch. You know, we use half inch to cut it. We added half inches sewing allowance. So this is the lining part, but it's still the fabric. I'm using the fabric as the lining too. So after holding it with half inch, I'll notch it. This is what it looks like. This is the lining. I'll do the same for the main fabric. So I'm trying to put the zip. I'll leave like half inch okay, for the zipper allowance. So I'll use a sewing pin, machine pin, office pin, to keep the zip together to the fabric. So after stitching it together with the fabric, you remove your pins. So this is how the back looks like after putting the zip. So the next thing we are going to do is to join the lining and the main fabric together. You stitch it by 1/2 inch on the top part, and you can see I have already opened it, open pressed it. So I'm just going to use pin to hold it together so that it will be easier for me to stitch. So after stitching it, I will also notch it so that it will relax, and I'll also iron it using hemming gum on that part so that it will relax too. So this is what it looks like after notching it. I'll now turn it inside out and then stitch the remaining parts down. So after stitching it down, I'll place it together with my skirt part for the front, and then use pin to hold it. Make sure the middle of the center front is aligning with the skirt, the middle of the skirt. So after stitching to the skirt together with the upper bodice, we'll place it together with the back and then stitch it with measurement. So this is the front and the back. We took 1.5 inches for the allowance, so I'm just going to put back the use 1.5 inches to close it back. So this is the sleeve. You are going to gather the sleeve together with this strip. This strip is 9x4, so that if I fold it into 2, it will become 2 instead of 4. Okay, and the 9 is my sleeve measurement. It's my round sleeve measurement. Okay, so I'm just going to gather this whole fabric into this 9 inches. So this is what it looks like after gathering it. So the next thing we are going to do is to close it by 1 inch to the end of the hem of the sleeve. So it stop like 3 inches or 4 inches before the hem of the sleeve, so that you'll be able to attach it to the fabric, to the dress. Okay, so see the 4 to 5 inches I stopped. So after that, I'm going to gather the hem into another strip of fabric. This one I folded it, it's like 1.5 inches, so I will fold it now. I'll fold it to give me like 0.75 inches. So the strip is about 1.5 to 10 inches, 1.5 by 10 inches. So the 10 inches is for the front and the back. You'll see how I will do it. We remove 5 inches from the shoulder, from the top. So I'll gather those fabric, the hem of the sleeve, on that 10 inches. Okay, it's like a bias, all right, and then I will now turn it back. I'm gathering it on the front side, the good side of the fabric. That's the right side of the fabric. So after gathering it, just like the way we did for the sleeve parts, the round sleeve parts, we will now turn it like a bias to the right side and stitch it on the edges of the bias. So this is how it looks like after turning it inside out. We are going to join that 5 inches space we left on our dress, on the armpit of our dress, the armhole. So after holding it with measurement, you measure your armhole Okay, so that you also measure the space we left on the sleeve. Okay, so after measuring it, you attach your sleeve to your armhole and then stitch it very well. As you can see how I'm attaching it to the middle, and then you will stitch it with 1/2 inches. Hello guys, thank you for watching. Thank you so much for supporting me.